Here it is, Bradley. I finally got my hands on one. How? I heard these were impossible to get, and they check your ID too. Saved up my allowance and gave it to my older brother. He bought it for us, but I had to swear I wouldn't tell anybody. He would beat my ass for even telling you. I won't tell, Ricky, I swear to. Yeah, well, I already promised my brother, and you see how much that was worth. Don't tell anybody. I won't. Swear. I swear, okay? Pinky promise, cross my heart and hope to die. All of it. Why would I get us in trouble when I want to play too? Okay, fine. Ricky concedes, removing the cardboard box from the larger box he used for transport. Bradley brushes the red and black glossy box top with his 2 primary fingers. You only die once. I didn't expect the game to be this big. Be careful with that, would you? It also costs a lot more than you would expect, and I had to borrow money from my brother just to get it. You don't even know how many allowances I still have to give him, plus interest. What's interest? I don't know, but he said I wouldn't like it. Ricky and Bradley carefully crack the seal around the board game lid and lift it from the base. The bottom slides down with a squeak and finally pops free as the 2 boys slowly turn and stare at one another with glee. Don't let me ruin your kiss. What are you dorks up to now? Andrea, Bradley's nosy and annoying older sister, sneaks behind them. Bradley nervously throws the bag back on top of the box to hide it. Hi, Andrea. I thought it smelled like stupid in here. Ricky retorts. Get out of here, Andrea. We're playing a game and you're only going to ruin it. You don't trust your cool big sister? No! They bark in unison. I'm not your sister, dweeb. She flicks Ricky's ear. You can be my girlfriend, though, he mutters back. What? Nothing. Okay, thanks for stopping by, Andrea. You've overstayed your welcome already, Bradley dismisses. I know you're doing something weird in here, but whatever. She turns and leaves the room, shutting the door behind her. They sit still for a moment, waiting for her to jump back in and surprise them, but nothing comes. Silence, anticipation, worry. Good going, man. Now she's going to tell on us, Ricky complains. She isn't going to call your brother. She didn't even see the game, so calm down. Let's just get to this, yeah? It's been a long enough wait. Bradley removes the bag from atop the game and they resume where they left off, eager to begin and incredulous it is finally happening. Inside the box lies at least 100 pieces requiring assembly. What do they think I am, some kind of architect? Ricky blabbers. The architect would have drawn the finished design. All we have to do is follow the instructions, bozo. Whatever, smartass. Well, go ahead and build it, Da Vinci. I'm working on it. Here's the instruction book. Bradley tails off, already deep in thought. This is just great. First we had to wait forever to even get the game, then I had to get my brother involved just to buy it, and now we can't even play it right away? Shut up and help me. This could either take a long time, or you could pitch in and cut that in half. And so the boys built the board game, following directions closely with a few mistakes along the way, as well as a lot of bickering and a couple curse words. What stood before them was a massive display unlike any board game Ricky or Bradley had ever seen. Whoa, they both whisper, stepping back and staring in awe of their handiwork. It's huge, Ricky whispers. Unbelievable, Bradley murmurs. The game features a large devil face in front of a Ferris wheel, red lights that actually plug into the socket, circus tent, and painted-on fire displays, among other things surrounding a 3-dimensional game track circling the massive tent. The color palette features a palpable theme that screams red. They notice there are no cards or other pieces, only command prompts inscribed on the spaces themselves. How do we play? Ricky asks. I'm looking through that right now. It says, Welcome to the Carnival of Nefarious Intent. Enter the tent at your own great peril. The cost of loss will be dire. That's all they have. Nefarious? Whatever, just spin the wheel in the middle. It can't be that complicated if the idiots we know at school have played it. True, Bradley replies, spinning the wheel to land on 3. His character moves 3 spaces on its own. Whoa, they mumble in unison again, staring at each other. Through trial and error, the boys make it to the top of the carnival tent after facing inopportune challenges commanded by the game, such as punching a fellow contender in the face. Bradley was happy to oblige. 6 more spaces to reach the end, and every one of them says to return back to start. How the hell do we win if the wheel only goes to 6? Ricky complains, lightly rubbing his jaw. Don't be a sore loser, just try it out. So Ricky does, spinning a lucky 6, yet falling 1 space short of victory and watching his character tumble down the side of the tent and settling back at start. You're kidding me! This game is stupid! It's rigged so nobody can even win it! Just try again. There must be some sort of mistake. I don't have enough time tonight. I need to get home. We can try again another day, I guess. I don't know. So much time for nothing. Ricky shakes his head. All right, well, I'm going to leave the game just like this. That way we don't have to waste hours of setup next time. Sounds good. See you at school. Ricky slings his backpack over his shoulder, grabs his skateboard, and almost swings the door into the eavesdropping Andrea, who ducks into the bathroom adjacent. Several hours pass, and Bradley can't keep his eyes off the display in the corner of his room. Homework was a disaster to complete, and even during his nightly shower, all he could think about was how to surmount those final 6 spaces. It's only a riddle, he thought to himself, an obstacle with a hidden solution. He would definitely need to be the one to solve the puzzle. No offense to Ricky. Now lying in bed 2 hours past the time he should have been to sleep on a school night, those excited thoughts roll through the threshold of enjoyment and take hold of his nerves. The devil face, with a grin so cartoonish yet evil, remains painted behind his eyelids, while sleep remains as elusive as that winning space in the game. Whenever he discovers the secret, Bradley decides he doesn't want to share it. Let Ricky squirm for answers. Even if he found out, he's such a loudmouth that the entire school would know by the end of the week. Staying up all night to solve the issue has to be worth something. Feeling himself slip into the next stage of relaxation for the first time tonight, Bradley feels the glow of red light upon his face. This must be the consequences of obsessing over the game, he hopes, although it doesn't go away with time. Finally, he opens an eye for the peace of mind and inspects their sinister board game, but finds it to be dark and inanimate in the room's corner, exactly the way it was left. The blurriness of middle-of-the-night eyes wears off, and Bradley finally sees well enough to recognize a dull reddish hue blanketing the rest of the room. He forces his eyes shut as hard as he can to avoid the confrontation of truth. It's an illusion. You're tired. You played the game for too long. All things he repeats neurotically to try and get to sleep. This is normal. Everything is fine. Faint carnival music rises to his ears in the dark, but nobody plugged in the game for it to play. Yet, when he points his ear toward it with his eyes still shut, it is easy to recognize that the sounds are not emanating from there. Bradley buries his face into the pillow to escape this augmented reality, yet all he gets in return is the crescendo of circus music. Flashing red lights distract his attempts to relax, and he bolts upright in bed, unable to ignore this any further. Carnival tunes and clown horns swirl his surroundings and cause him to feel a seasickness in the form of being overwhelmed by sensation. This is all his fault for playing the game, yet the board is silent and dark. That demon face remains grinning, even cutting through the low visibility of luminescent red light flooding the room. The source seems to be beneath his bed, light and music and all. Bradley can't take it anymore. Mom! Dad! He resorts to the instincts of pre-consciousness, even as a budding teen. Although, where else could he turn? After a brief moment, their dormant parental instincts activate to care for young children throughout the night, and his father bursts through the bedroom door, followed by his mother, and then Andrea after a brief pause. Bradley? You scared us half to death. What's going on in here? He has the quilt pulled up to his eyes in embarrassment, but points downward and rambles in mumbled speech. It's my bed. Something bad is happening under my bed. Oh, goodness, Bradley. His mother sighs. I thought you were over this stage, Bradley. His father groans. Both parents survey the room, now dark and silent, yet find nothing of note. It's that game. I saw him and Ricky playing it earlier. Andrea snitches, pointing excitedly toward the board game in the corner. Where the hell did you get that? Dad asks. Ricky brought it over, but I heard something, I swear. Music and red lights. Now, Bradley, you know how you get sometimes. We've come so far in dealing with this. Mom relents. Please, just look under my bed, then I'll go to sleep in peace and we can laugh about this tomorrow. Please. Mom and Dad share a look and both shrug their shoulders. If it'll make you feel better, Bradley, fine. I will look under your bed for monsters. But you have to go to sleep after. Promise? Promise. Okay then. Dad groans as he slowly drops to his hands and knees. Mom wanders over to the board game without Bradley noticing to inspect the sinister contraption. Dad lifts the sheet to poke his head underneath, followed by both shoulders as he pats around to feel for lurking villains. Mom eyes the instruction booklet and brings it close to her face so she can read it in the dim light. You only die once? Bradley's eyes nearly bulge from his skull, feeling as though he has been caught, turning to stare blankly at his mother. She thumbs through the book with eyes squinted before finally flipping it over entirely. The back page is inscribed with black lettering that she must once again pull close to her face to read. Just kidding. The red lights and music from beneath the bed kick on while Dad has only his bottom half hanging out. What the fuck? He shouts as the music peaks again and he is sucked into the void. Welcome to the show! May you never leave again! A charismatic voice clamors from unseen origins with a twisted laugh. Nothing you do can help you now, so sit back and enjoy the ride! Bradley's dad is swallowed down a red slide into the depths while he screams in terror at what he knows is an irreversible fate. The same devil's face, now 20 times larger, cackles maniacally at his misfortune, while jesters ring the buffoon tune. Balloons inflate of his friends' and family's heads, only dead. All around as a roller coaster of souls circles endlessly about his position. Caleb! His wife shouts from above as he begs and pleads her not to follow. Clawed hands grasp her soft digits and yank her down the same ill-fated slide that landed her husband in this pit. This is all your fault! You and your dipshit friend killed Mom and Dad! Andrea chastises her brother, who tries to hide in bed. I didn't. It wasn't. He stammers, out of excuses but searching for anything to hide his own disappointment. A slow-moving and slick hand bounds outward from his bed frame, target set on Andrea's ankle. It grasps her tightly and yanks, smacking her head on the floor and rendering her defenseless. Down goes Andrea into the depths, eyes closed and silent for once in Bradley's life. He sits in his bed, frozen in fear and ashamed at his own inaction. What should he do? What could he have done? Shivering, he remains among the flashing red lights and jovial carnival hymns. This is the show we've been waiting for! The unnamed voice cackles in a frenzy. 3 fresh souls to sacrifice in our game. 3 free spaces we grant thee in vain. Bradley leaps from his bed out of compulsion and runs to the game. A return to start space disappears as his father screams in agony from deep below his bed. His hand floats toward the spinning wheel, having been so close to the end, but stops as he hears his dear mother shout once again. Another space dissolves into nothing, a blank square like the others. Finally, Andrea shrieks out her anguish, causing another of the barricade spaces to fade. Bradley stares in disbelief after sitting up all night wondering how to solve the puzzle. Then, he has his answer. He gawks at the game for a full minute, yet 3 more return to start spaces remain in place. He might be able to pass those, but the journey had been fraught with nearly missed terrors, like orders that would directly lead to his own harm or worse. Maybe finishing the game would bring his family members back. Bradley picks up the instructions again and reads the cover aloud. "You only die once," followed by the back. "Just kidding." That could only mean that they have died but will be revived and theoretically able to die again, or so hopes the idealistic young mind of a freshly made orphan. By all accounts, he has just about 0 else left to lose aside from his own life. Fighting back tears for his departed parents, he tries to make sense once more of the game, though distracted by blurred vision and brain fog. 6 spaces. 3 gone, 3 remain. Primordial synapses fire with the efficacy of striking wet matches. Family dead, bad, must fix. He can even trick himself into mourning Andrea for the time being, if it helps the cause. The sounds of a raging carnival party and amusement park rides lingers from beneath the bed, though buried deep and drowned out by the task at hand. 3 spaces remain, but 3 were removed. 1 for each sacrificial soul. An idea forms at the snap of a finger in Bradley's mind and coincides with the blowing of a horn in the depths. He pulls out his phone and dials Ricky. It must be at least 2 in the morning, though his brain did not register the time. "Are you kidding me? Ricky, how are your parents? Your brother?" "I'm sure they're all doing lovely and sleeping like I was doing. And like you should be doing." "Go wake them up," Bradley suggests, turning to look at his bed and seeing the red light finally fade away. "Something bad is about to happen to you, but it's a good thing, trust me. Wake them up and get them in your room, and you will all know what to do from there. Make sure you get your brother too. I figured it out, Ricky. It only took me all night, but I figured out how to beat the game. Just trust me, okay?" He emphasizes with his eyes on those final 3 spaces.